I'm a 28-year-old male who is married to a 27-year-old female. We have been together for 5 years and have been married for about 3 years. We do not have any children and both work in good law firms. Currently, we are renting an apartment and do not have any shared property or loans. Our savings are separate, and we both earn a similar income. About 10 days ago, I discovered that my wife was cheating on me. I overheard her talking to someone on the phone, but the call abruptly ended as soon as I walked into the room. Suspicious of her behavior, I decided to check her phone around 3 a.m. To my dismay, I found that the call logs from that evening around 9 p.m. had been deleted. This led me to dig deeper, and I uncovered that she has been using Telegram, which I was unaware of since we primarily use WhatsApp for communication and everything else. For the past 3 months, I have been incredibly occupied with work as I am in competition with 2 other individuals for a promotion. During this time, I discovered that my wife was having an affair with a colleague from work. The affair has been going on for approximately 9 weeks. I stumbled upon their explicit conversations where they were sexting and exchanging nude photos in various positions. It seemed evident that their relationship was purely based on sexual gratification and having fun together, as my wife explicitly mentioned that she didn't want him to think they were anything more than that. They had been physically intimate 4 times. I was deeply disturbed by the situation and couldn't gather the courage to confront my wife directly. Instead, I took screenshots of all the evidence I had gathered. I felt incredibly shaken and believed that everything would fall apart if I confronted her. For a few days, I was in a state of shock and didn't know what to do. When my wife asked if everything was okay, I simply mentioned that I was facing problems at the office. Meanwhile, my colleagues at work started noticing something was wrong with me and inquired about my well-being. In response, I informed them that my aunt had passed away. I even took a 2-week leave from work, explaining to the HR department that it was due to my wife's infidelity. Then, 4 days ago, my wife informed me that she was going on a trip to meet the other person at a hotel. I was overwhelmed with stress and heartbreak. The next morning, I woke up feeling extremely sick and had a high fever. I couldn't hold back my emotions and ended up vomiting. I pled with her to stay, but she insisted that the work trip was crucial and she couldn't cancel it. In that moment, I realized that divorce was the only option for me. I made the decision to ask my brother to follow my wife and capture photos of her. Fortunately, the pictures he took revealed her kissing the other person involved in the affair. That devastated me, and I found myself crying uncontrollably. The emotional pain was so intense that I had an urge to drown my sorrows in alcohol, but my brother prevented me from doing so. In my state of hurt and anger, I contemplated seeking revenge. My plan was to tell my wife that I was having an affair with another woman and then leave her. I believed that she would portray herself as the victim and share this information with her friends and conservative parents, who would undoubtedly be furious with me. Afterward, I intended to expose her infidelity with evidence, causing everyone to doubt her credibility. I was convinced that no one would believe her again, not even her own parents. However, it is important to remember that seeking revenge may not lead to a resolution or healing. It is advisable to approach the situation with calmness and seek professional guidance or counseling to navigate through the complexities of infidelity and relationship challenges. I sought advice from my father's friend, who happens to be a lawyer and also our neighbor. He assured me that obtaining a divorce would be relatively straightforward, given the evidence I have of my wife's infidelity. Fortunately, we don't have much to divide since the only significant item of value is the jewelry, which my mother had given to my wife. I believe my wife wouldn't make a fuss about it, considering her wealthy background and being the only child of her parents. Today, I have made the decision to leave our shared home and move in with a friend who has a spare room. He currently lives alone, and I believe it would be a suitable temporary arrangement for me. I am now waiting for my wife to return home so that I can remove the wedding ring from my finger and commence the process of separating our lives. When I confessed my affair to her, she was utterly shocked. I immediately tried to make a quick exit, already having my clothes packed in the car. However, she refused to let me go and bombarded me with a series of questions. She demanded to know who the other woman was and questioned whether I truly loved her rather than my wife. As her words turned into incoherent mumbling, I couldn't contain my emotions any longer. In a rare outburst, I shouted, "Let go!" Without wasting any more time, I sprinted to my car and drove away, leaving her behind. Subsequently, I received at least 10 calls from her, which prompted me to block her number. However, she resorted to sending hundreds of texts. Sexually in response, I warned her that if she continued, I would block her completely, and I suggested we discuss our future in a few days' time. Eventually, the relentless texts ceased, and we reached an agreement to meet. 3 days later, we finally met, and I noticed her frail appearance. It was evident she hadn't eaten properly, and her eyes were swollen from crying. She began by stating that she knew I couldn't possibly have had an affair because of the kind of person I am, and the fact that I never had enough time for such endeavors. She acknowledged that she was the one who had engaged in an affair and expressed deep remorse, desperately seeking forgiveness. After 30 minutes, I confessed the truth to her. In response, she revealed that the meeting wasn't entirely fabricated. It did take place for 3 days. However, the additional day was solely for her to engage in extramarital activities, which is why she couldn't stay to take care of me. Being suspicious, I asked for her phone, and to my surprise, there were no deleted messages. She had even informed her affairs partner to never contact her again and had subsequently blocked him. She reassured me that he meant nothing to her and that she only loves me. Moreover, she had informed her HR department about the situation and planned to resign. She intended to confront her affairs partner's wife with evidence later that evening. In response, I expressed my disbelief and stated that I wanted a divorce. However, she began crying and pleading for another chance. After approximately 2 hours, a woman arrived at our home claiming to be the wife of my wife's affair partner. My wife immediately confessed her wrongdoing and pleaded for forgiveness from the woman. This isn't a painful twist. The woman provided evidence of my wife and Ape hanging out, kissing each other and exchanging text messages. Guilty and overwhelmed with emotions, the woman cried and cursed at my wife, expressing her hope that our marriage would crumble. She left after giving me her contact information for additional proof. Feeling devastated and betrayed, I confronted my wife about the situation. I asked her about the consequences of her actions, considering our plans to buy a home this year and start a family in the near future. Being unable to provide an answer, I left without receiving a response from her. The weight of the situation left us both speechless. I could sense the genuine remorse in my wife's demeanor, and I believe she truly regrets her actions. However, I found myself contemplating whether it is fair to grant her another chance. After all, one opportunity should be sufficient, considering the 5 years I devoted to loving her and working towards a better life together. The following day, I received a call from her father, who expressed his sincere apologies on her behalf. He left the decision of whether to divorce or not entirely up to me. Furthermore, he assured me that his daughter is genuinely seeking forgiveness and requested that I carefully consider giving her another chance. Since then, nothing significant has occurred. I resumed going to the office, and to my surprise, my wife has not resigned. However, her affair partner, App, has been terminated by AITA. He says on Facebook, I discovered that my wife's position in the team is currently on hold due to her importance. Apart from that, she's been consistently texting me. At one point, she even visited my brother's place, mistakenly assuming I was residing there. Once she found out that I wasn't present, she promptly left. Until now, no major developments have taken place. I acknowledge that my wife is genuinely remorseful and has done everything within her power to make amends. Despite everything, the question remains, should I forgive her? The truth is, I still love her deeply, but I don't desire a toxic or loveless marriage. It's crucial for me to have complete trust in my partner, knowing that I can confide in them wholeheartedly. Thank you for listening to the story to the end. And if you like it, please support us with a like, as well as subscribe to our channel. Write in the comments what you think about the story.